evening and welcome to Reality Check tonight. Our big focus, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra taking on Chief Minister Adityanath and the UP police today, alleging the two were complicit in wrongdoings in the brutal crackdown against people protesting against the citizenship law. She also accused the police of working to ensure Yogi's Vadra or revenge, referring to the Chief Minister's shocking comment on the 19th of December. She's also demanded a High Court monitored probe into police action. Now, 2 days after she accused the Lucknow police of grabbing her by the neck while en route to visit a retired IPS officer's family, the IPS officer was arrested for opposing the Citizenship Act. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also said her security, her own security, was a trivial issue and she wanted to focus on the larger picture of police excesses. However, both the UP police, which reports to Chief Minister Adityanath, as well as the CRPF, which is responsible for Priyanka Gandhi's security and reports to the Home Ministry, have said there was no breach in her security. It was Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who broke with protocol.
Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has hit out at the UP Chief Minister, saying his brand of saffron politics is not true Hinduism and criticizing him for his call for revenge against those protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act.
ये भगवा आपका नहीं है। ये भगवा हिंदुस्तान की धार्मिक आध्यात्मिक परंपरा का है। हिंदू धर्म का चिन्ह है। उस धर्म को धारण करिए। उस धर्म में रंज, हिंसा और बदले की भावना की कोई जगह नहीं है।
वे सब वीडियोग्राफी में आ चुके हैं, सीसीटीवी के फुटेज में आ चुके हैं। इन सब की प्रॉपर्टी को जब्त करके इनसे हम इसका बदला लेंगे।
Over the last 10 days or so, there have been a series of videos like these of policemen smashing property in various parts of UP. Lathi charges and 19 people killed, mostly by gunshot. Although the police has admitted to shooting only in one of these cases. The BJP has hit back at Priyanka both for her comments against Chief Minister Adityanath and her so-called security breach on Saturday, when she got onto a scooter after her motorcade was blocked by the Lucknow police.
ये सहिष्णुता के बारे में, भगवा धर्म के अहिंसा की प्रवृत्ति के बारे में, भगवा चोले के महत्व के बारे में उनको पता होना चाहिए, तो उनको पता नहीं हुआ।
Even after the CRPF, which provides Priyanka security after the elite SPG was withdrawn, have told her to follow the rules and inform them of her plans for advance checks. The security force, which reports to the Home Ministry, also denied her charge that their jawans were threatened by the UP police and the state have BJP-led governments. However, Priyanka chose not to reply to the CRPF note backing the UP police.
मेरी सुरक्षा का सवाल एक बहुत छोटा सवाल है जिस पे चर्चा करने की जरूरत नहीं है। आज हम प्रदेश की सुरक्षा का सवाल उठा रहे हैं। हम आम जनता की सुरक्षा का सवाल उठा रहे हैं।
NDTV Bureau Report.
Well, joining me tonight on Reality Check, Brijesh Kalappa, spokesperson of the Congress. Geeta Bhatt, political analyst and an RSS supporter, is with us tonight. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, is with us, as is Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. Brijesh Kalappa, let me begin by asking you, we heard about it in no uncertain terms when it was decided that the Gandhi family's SPG security was going to be downgraded to CRPF security, and yet here we hear from Priyanka Gandhi today saying her security is a trivial issue and it's time to focus on larger police excesses and what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. Would you care to explain the dichotomy of that?
No, I think as far as the members of the Gandhi family are concerned, they have never made an issue of the downgrading of their security. It's members of the Congress party who are concerned about it. As far as the members of the Nehru Gandhi family are concerned, where have they ever voiced their concern? They have not said a word in regard to the downgrading of their security apparatus. In fact, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi never made an issue when VP Singh downgraded his security from SPG to Z category security, and we have seen what the outcome has been. We as members of the Congress party are genuinely and deeply concerned about it. The members of the Gandhi family have never raised this issue.
No, but why
They have
is-
never made it an issue.
All right.
You give them security or you give them no security.
Okay, fair enough, but-
they will continue to live life the way they see as being fair enough.
Okay, but Brijesh Kalappa, does Priyanka Gandhi really sort of, want the focus to be on this larger issue that she talks about of UP police's excesses? And, she makes this serious charge that the police and the chief minister have been complicit in extracting badla or revenge, that reference there to that shocking comment that was made by Chief Minister Adityanath earlier this month.
See, first of all, as far as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is concerned, you must remember that protests didn't begin by themselves. They began as a result of the CAB, and from then on protests have been continuing. Now protests are something which are constitutionally enshrined. They are, permissible as the Constitution allows us to protest. One. Now, in certain instances, protests may take the form of violence, which we also abhor. But if there has been more than necessary use of force to quell these protests, including not taking necessary precautions, first of using rubber bullets, of using tear gas, of shooting below the waist and such others, and straight away killing people, then it means that the government which intended that these protests happen, they are also quelling protests, therefore they are killing democracy, right? So this is exactly what is happening in Uttar Pradesh. Across the country, 25 people have died. In Uttar Pradesh alone, 19 people have died. So who is to be held responsible? We are not a British ruled state. We are an Indian ruled state. The Indians are ruling the Indians. So this is not like General Dyer can say, kill these people, and then a number of these people would fall dead. This is not that kind of an administration, unless Mr. Adityanath wants to prove it to be a General Dyer kind of administration.
Geeta Bhatt, Priyanka Gandhi's allegation seems to be that there's anarchy across Uttar Pradesh. The police is targeting peaceful protesters. Whether it's people killed in firing, as many as 19 dead, if not more, or well-known activists currently in jail. And she reeled off a long list saying that, there was no evidence that these people had played any role in violent protests. So why were they behind bars? Or for that matter, compensation notices that have now been sent to 428 people. And she mentions, of course, the case of S.R. Darapuri, the activist family that she went to visit, saying here is a 77-year-old man who has been jailed for arrested, in fact, for a Facebook post. So why is he being held responsible for compensation?
Well, Ankita, Priyanka Vadra is misusing this, orchestrated and instigated unrest against the CAA for, political one-upmanship. And what is unfortunate is that she is not criticizing that how the mobs, they have done rioting and arsoning all across, in many cities in Uttar Pradesh and in some other cities also across India. She has, the fact remains that there are many people who have now from the Muslim community, like in Muzaffarnagar, have come out. They have even gone to the Deputy Collector's office and have informed them, a large number of people from the Muslim community, saying that they were misinformed about this CAA Act, and they ensured that this kind of
I think the point
misbehavior from anyone is not going to happen ever again. Now, coming to what Priyanka Vadra has been saying about her security, you see, everyone knows she is a Z plus category protectee, and she gets CRPF protection. The CRPF has come out with an official statement where they have said that not once but many times there have been breach in the protocol. A particular protocol has to be followed, where they were informed only of one place that she would be visiting, and that was the Pradesh Congress office. However, later on there was the route was changed, and it seems that she went and she sat on some scooter and went ahead to go somewhere which was not put across in the protocol.
Okay.
So that was one reason for her. I mean, of course, she can be larger than, she can portray herself to be larger than life and saying that, that she doesn't care about her protection.
Right.
But it would be a catch-22 situation. If had they not been done it, then security forces would have been accused of it.
All right, Brijesh Kalapa has a point to make. I will come to you in a moment, but very quickly, Vikram Singh, has the issue of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's entire altercation with the UP police really become too politicized, whether it's now the UP police giving their version of events or even the CRPF, which reports to the Home Ministry, now saying that there was no security breach. It was in fact Priyanka Gandhi who broke protocol. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra seemed to make it sound as though all of this has just deflected from the larger story of what has happened in Uttar Pradesh. Would you at least agree with that assessment?
Ankita, I would say please view everything in totality. What the politicians say and what they leave unsaid, and what the conclusions are from the obvious. The obvious reason, and the reason is not saying things for the sake of saying them, but getting political mileage. I, for one, do not believe that a disciplined force like the CRPF and the UP police, whose special protection groups and the protection personnel are trained and they are men and women of steel, would do anything so horrendous and unpredictable as holding somebody, a VIP like Priyanka ji by the neck and then roughing her up.
But Vikram Singh, she's saying she doesn't choose to go into any of that any longer. There are larger issues at stake. Should we at least accept her word on that?
Yes, I mean, if she's saying it for the sake of saying it.
Is it unfair of her to demand a High Court monitored probe into allegations of excesses against the UP police?
I would take Priyanka ji on her face value, and I salute her magnanimity. But nothing can be done. VIP security is serious business, and if there is a breach, it is a very sorry reflection on the state of arrangement. But I, for one, would not like to believe in the allegations made against the CRPF or the UP police. Yes, both are important. The breach in security and the law and order situation in UP, which needs to be addressed. And like everywhere where there are disturbance, they need to be addressed, the culprits booked. And also, I would have been very happy and delighted if the role of the PFI was mentioned. The injury to the police personnel was also mentioned, and the loss of property was also mentioned. And of course, there are self-styled activists who post things on Facebook, but I would also request to be incisive in your reporting and go into the antecedents and the background of the self-styled activists also.
Antecedents and background. Let me just talk about some of those activists that Priyanka Gandhi in fact brought up, and we have actually reported on quite extensively. In Bijnor, the two people shot dead, Anas and Suleiman. Suleiman in one case where the UP police has actually said, yes, they shot, but they shot in self-defense. Of course, that is an account that's completely contradicted by Suleiman's family. She also referred to the instance of S.R. Darapuri. Now, this is a 77-year-old former IPS officer, Vikram Singh, who's been arrested. The charges against him are rioting, attempt to murder and criminal assault, when it seems all he had done was post on Facebook about peaceful protests. Sadaf Zafar, actor, activist, Congress worker, also arrested, and the charges very serious: rioting, unlawful assembly, attempt to murder, wrongful constraints, criminal intimidation, criminal assault on a public servant, and so on and so forth. There are 12 students of the Banaras Hindu University who are among the arrested. There are environmental activists, Ekta and Ravi Shekhar, well known for their work, who've been arrested also with similar charges against them of rioting with a deadly weapon, assault of a public servant, wrongful restraint. Sanjay Hegde, you know, the list is long and endless. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also talked about the notices that have been sent to 428 people now demanding compensation. Now, who determines this compensation? In her letter to the governor, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in fact says that it is illegal for the UP government to unilaterally decide who should be fined or who would have to pay compensation. What does the law say?
See, you cannot simply determine compensation yourself. There has to be a trial. People have to be found guilty, and then there, under the CRPC, you could levy fines. The UP administration seems to be basing itself on a High Court judgment, but that High Court judgment also does not do away with the necessity of a trial. You must remember that currently it is at the stage of issuing notices saying why should so much money not be recovered from you, at which point of time the person who gets the notice can very well turn around and say you can't recover money without the due process of law. These notices are meant to intimidate or to quieten down people, and not only the people to whom notices have been issued. They are currently without a legal process or authority of law, but are purporting to act under the color of office. I have no doubt that if they are challenged in an appropriate court, there will be an appropriate verdict. Be that as it may, there have been some communities who have paid up some money, which can very well be termed as protection money to leave those communities alone. At the very least, one must compliment the UP police with Mr. Vikram Singh as once headed, for being very innovative with the law, to say the very least. But the country is watching.
Is it the UP police's credit alone, or also Chief Minister Adityanath, who actually said badla would be taken, and that anyone who was found guilty of destruction of public property would have to pay compensation? So that word being used for revenge and compensation almost interchangeably.
Mr. Singh is smiling. His smile tells me that no policeman acts alone without administrative clearance, and in this case it would have been administrative clearance at the highest. The law has no place for badla or revenge. The law knows compensation. The law knows a judicial process. It can't be one man's word, no matter how high he is. And by high, I do not refer only to office or stature.
Vikram Singh, who determines compensation? It's all very well for these notices to be sent out to protesters. Who determines culpability? How is this legal?
Ankita ji, Mr. Hegre is a very seasoned lawyer, and there's a lot of merit and substance in what he has said. As the K.T. Thomas Committee recommended after the Supreme Court, that there has to be a claims commissioner who is a retired district judge or a retired high court judge. He is the claims commissioner. It's a quasi-judicial proceeding, and then everything, and he sits in judgment and decides whether the compensation is to be paid or not to be paid, whether the amount is justified or not. It cannot be knee-jerk or whimsical. I, for once, if I issue the notice, I cannot be the prosecutor, I cannot be the judge, and I cannot be the executor. It is against norms of natural justice, and the law mandates, it's not what I'm saying, but the law mandates there has to be a claims commissioner of the rank of a retired district judge or retired high court judge who will arbitrate and do the proceedings, not the police and not the local administration. But yes, a foundation stone has been laid by issuing the notices. But Mr. Hegre is very right when he says that perhaps ultimately they will end up being stonewalled, because who are you going to put it to? With the superintendent of police? Illegal. Putting to the ADM? Again, even more illegal, because he is the one who is issued notices. Then ultimately, who will it go to? Under what provisions of law have you subscribed to the procedure prescribed? You have done something that is still half-baked.
But Geeta Bhatt, would you say that at least as far as Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's demand for a probe, a High Court monitored probe into UP police action goes, is that a fair demand in your opinion? Given that so many questions have been raised?
Well, Priyanka Vadra can, put forth her point of view. I mean, she is a citizen of this country. At the same time, Indian Railways have lost property worth more than 80 crores in these sponsored riots which have taken place
But Geeta Bhatt, surely a court-monitored probe would also go into that.
Which shows that how people are, damaging the...
But surely a court-monitored probe would look into, would fix accountability as far as protesters are concerned, and also the police.
You see, a call... Yes, Ankita, yes, a call can be taken in this regard, and there could be a judicial inquiry where one can find out, and at the same time there should be those who have, I assume that everyone on the panel and including you agrees that there is nothing wrong in a compensation being asked for damaging of public property.
But who fixes?
You need to set a precedent for the future.
Who decides, Geeta Bhatt, when there's been no trial, when there's been no fixing of culpability, Geeta Bhatt?
We never saw Priyanka Vadra coming out and asking.
But Geeta Bhatt, I'm saying there has been, when there has been no trial, when there has been no fixing of culpability, who determines who is going to pay compensation? Can that be the UP government's call alone?
You see, as some other panelists have already told that this is a High Court. It was actually a 2009 Supreme Court judgment which went to the High Court, and then the High Court has actually given the responsibility to the administration, that they are the one who are going to set up some standard operating procedure for this purpose. So I'm sure that it will, whatever compensation is going to be
but
asked.
In fact, the High Court judgment,
certain procedures.
In fact, that High Court judgment actually talks about political parties or sitting or former legislators. It says nothing about ordinary citizens. But leaving that aside, Brajesh Kalappa, you had a point to make. Go ahead.
No, I was only saying, Ankita, that as far as the Claims Commissioner is also concerned, his orders are not above the Supreme Court or the High Court. That will also be subject to judicial review. Now, supposing there is a Claims Commissioner who says that, look, I accept the administration's point of view and you have to cough up this much. It doesn't mean that the High Court or the Supreme Court is not going to intervene. That is also going to be subject to Article 226. So, these kind of procedures are, like Sanjay rightly said, these are process of intimidating people. This is to first create a fire, and then when people are shouting about the fire was created by the Modi Sarkar by having a CAB. Then when people are now aroused, then they say, no, you can't even come and protest. If you come and protest, we'll either shoot you, one, or we'll intimidate you in this extremely severe fashion. So you're so scared that you remain totally immobile. Therefore, any kind of action we take against you, you will not be able to react. So, but this is not the essence of a democracy, no? Is this how democracy functions according to Mr. Adityanath, who otherwise wears saffron robes, saffron is otherwise connected to renunciation, it's connected to righteousness. Which of these actions ever bespeak righteousness or renunciation? It means that Adityanath is trying to control the situation and trying to gain more and more power and more and more worldly pleasures for himself. This is certainly not the role of somebody who's wearing saffron.
Sanjay Hegde, would you say that we really keep coming back in circles to Chief Minister Adityanath's statement that Vadla will be taken from protesters? Because once again, we've heard, when is it, the question being raised, when have we last heard a Chief Minister talk about Vadla against his own people and what that term means? Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, of course, going a step further today and linking it to the color of his saffron robes and saying that he doesn't understand the meaning of saffron.
Well, saffron is very subjective. I quite remember what Mr. K. Parasaran, who argued the Ram Janmabhoomi matter, once said in court. He said that Ravana's sin was not only that he kidnapped Sita, but that he kidnapped her wearing saffron robes. Once you wear saffron, you let go of the world. You have sacrificed the world. You have no connection with it. Unfortunately, we have a situation where somebody who is wearing saffron is conducting a government. There is a conceptual problem as a Hindu, there's a conceptual problem as a constitutionalist that I see. We cannot have people in law, once you renounce the world, there is a civil death. That is also a concept in law. That person does not exist. The person cannot have rights or liabilities. Yet we have a person wearing saffron who is the Chief Minister. And I wish he said that he had misspoken. He has used the word badla. There is no scope for badla when you are running a constitutional government. Badla is totally in the private realm, and you must be you may be jailed if you take badla outside the law. The law can only provide for compensation. I think the Hindi word is harjana.
Okay.
So I am sure Mr. Adityanath did not mean badla in that sense, and if it has been taken that way, he would be best advised to clarify.
Well, we've heard no clarification yet from the Chief Minister, and indeed the discourse over his comment continues to get more pointed. and indeed becoming about the robes of saffron that he wears today. And the BJP now hitting back, saying it is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who doesn't understand the meaning of saffron. We'll leave it there tonight. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. That's it on this edition of Reality Check.